So Ade, next week for our Quest Wednesday, the theme we chose was boundaries. And boundaries is bandied around a lot. And I'm really interested to know what your take is and how you relate to boundaries.
Yeah, I think the work of Brené Brown is what's really helped me in this area, actually. I love her definition of what's okay and what's not okay. And I think before I came across that definition, I don't think boundaries was something that I consciously navigated. It tended to be by default. So I would often talk about it when a line is crossed, for instance, as opposed to thinking of it beforehand. Um, but I still do find it challenging from time to time. Having said that, it also depends on the people. So with people I'm really, really close to, sometimes I can find it really, really challenging to have certain boundaries because we've got the history. We know each other. And so to all of a sudden say, well, actually, I now have this boundary of whatever it might be, can feel really, really challenging. Professionally, I tend to be really, really good when it comes to maybe facilitating sessions or engaging with clients in different ways. I tend to be really clear around that. But when it comes to my personal life, it's sort of like default situation. The thing that I do notice is I think boundaries and resentment go hand in hand for me. So there's a part of me that's like, I kind of expect people in my life to know what my boundaries are. And when they cross those boundaries, I then go into resentment, like, how dare you within myself? And then I can act out in different ways. And I'm feeling very hot as I'm saying that right now. What about for yourself?
Well, I mean, the first thing I'd say, Ade, is I've learned a lot about boundaries through you, through how you model boundaries. So, because for me, first of all, I had no concept of boundaries. I mean, I wasn't even conscious to the concept of it for myself or other people. And that's what I recognize. It wasn't just for myself, it's for everyone else. So, first of all, being conscious of this notion of boundaries was the first step. And then the second step, which was even harder, was then expressing them, you know, or and so that's my process. That's the process. I mean, I do recognize them more now, but my ability to express them is still I find it very hard to do that. It is easier, like you say, with new people. Um, and recognizing other people's boundaries. I just used to be shocked or like puzzled when people would state a boundary that I'd crossed. Like, well, surely everything's kind of fine, you know? And it wasn't. And like you said, the reason I knew it wasn't was because I was either resentful or I would withdraw or I would slag people off behind their back because they obviously had done something, you know? So those are the red flags that, there is something really going on. So yeah, I think, for me, it's like I have to speak it. And I did it recently. I was supposed to meet a friend face to face. I'm going away. And we had a face to face meeting planned. And a couple of days before I checked in and they said, oh, yeah, so maybe we could do a Zoom. And I was like, Zoom? It's like, I'm going away. It's like, I'm not going to see this person. And so I felt the emotion. I noticed it. I didn't respond immediately. But what I'm really proud about myself is about 2 hours later, I thought, actually, I'm upset. I am upset about this. And I'm going to allow that expression to be said, but not in an angry way. So I just sent a message saying Zoom, 3 question marks, which I was really proud because that's me expressing, there's a boundary here. Like we're supposed to be together. And it was great because then we had a dialogue. And anyway, it was a mix up of communication, of course, because I had my story, they had their story. We did meet yesterday. And actually, when we met, I even had the courage to say, Zoom, what was going, the Zoom thing. And so we actually had a face-to-face conversation about the Zoom. And afterwards, when I left, I got a text from the person saying, I really love the connection and the honesty. So they actually remarked, and I think it was that conversation. So there's an example of where I'm kind of trying, and it was a little success, but I'm really proud that I was able to do that because it doesn't come naturally to me.
Yeah, wow, I love that story. And I'm really looking forward to the conversations that we're going to be having in the gathering. Actually, I think it's going to be another rich and engaging session.
Yeah, looking forward to it.